What if a small loan could change someone's life forever? Imagine a young woman named Amina living in a vibrant village in Bangladesh. With limited access to traditional banking systems, she dreams of starting her own tailoring business, but she lacks the funds to purchase the necessary materials. This is where the concept of microloans steps in, a tool that has empowered countless entrepreneurs like Amina. A microloan, typically a small amount of money lent to individuals who do not have access to conventional financing options, offers her the chance to turn her aspirations into reality. By providing Amina with just a few $100s, we open the door to a world of possibilities. With that loan, she buys fabric, hires a seamstress, and begins to build a business that not only supports her family, but also creates jobs in her community. This scenario illustrates a powerful truth: financial access can lead to societal improvement. As Amina's business flourishes, she reinvests her earnings, sending her children to school and ensuring they have opportunities she never had. The ripple effect of her success spreads throughout her village, inspiring others to pursue their entrepreneurial dreams. But let's pause and consider the implications of this empowering model. What changes if we take this premise seriously? Could widespread access to microloans transform entire communities? The strange consequence is that while Amina's story is uplifting, it also reveals a tension. The microloan model, while beneficial, can sometimes lead to debt cycles if not managed carefully. Borrowers may find themselves in a precarious situation if their ventures don't succeed as hoped. However, when approached thoughtfully, microloans can serve as a beacon of hope, showcasing how money, when wielded as a tool for empowerment, can uplift individuals and communities alike. As we reflect on Amina's journey, it prompts us to ask, how can we ensure that financial tools are designed to truly benefit those in need? What can we learn from these success stories to create systems that foster equitable growth and opportunity for all? The discussion of money's role as a catalyst for empowerment has only just begun. Imagine standing on the bustling streets of New York City during the late 19th century, a time known as the Gilded Age. As you walk, you see towering skyscrapers and luxurious mansions that symbolize unprecedented wealth. Yet, just a few blocks away, poverty looms in the shadows, with families struggling to survive in cramped tenements. How did a handful of individuals amass such fortunes, while so many others face daily hardships? This disparity wasn't just a byproduct of chance. It was a consequence of systemic exploitation, woven into the very fabric of the economy. Wealth concentration, as history shows, can lead to dire societal harm, creating an environment where the rich get richer and the poor are left behind. During this era, industrial magnates like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller amassed their fortunes by capitalizing on cheap labor and monopolizing entire industries. This consolidation of wealth not only enriched a select few, but also stifled competition, leaving workers with little power to negotiate fair wages or humane working conditions. The strange consequence of this greed was a society fractured by inequality. When a small elite controls vast resources, they gain the ability to influence policies that serve their interests, often at the expense of the broader population. This historical parallel raises critical questions for us today. What happens when wealth becomes disconnected from the value created? Can we recognize the patterns of the past in our current economic landscape? As we explore the dual nature of money, it's crucial to understand that the exploitation seen in the Gilded Age is not merely a relic of history, but a continuing narrative in many forms. The implications are profound. By analyzing these historical instances, we can gain insights into present-day economic challenges, urging us to confront the ethical implications of resource allocation and strive towards a system that prioritizes equity over accumulation. What if we could rewrite this narrative, ensuring that money serves as a bridge rather than a barrier? How would our society change if we actively work to dismantle the structures that perpetuate such inequality? Imagine walking into a bustling office where the air is thick with ambition. Employees are racing against the clock, fueled not just by coffee, but by the promise of bonuses and promotions. The question arises, what truly drives this fervor? Is it the allure of money, or is there something deeper, intrinsic, that compels them to strive? This brings us into the realm of behavioral economics, where the interplay between financial incentives and human motivation takes center stage. Behavioral economics, a field that marries psychology with economic theory, reveals fascinating insights into how incentives shape our choices and actions. Picture a scenario where a company offers a cash reward for innovative ideas. At first glance, this seems like a straightforward approach to boost creativity. However, the strange consequence is that in some cases, this monetary incentive can stifle innovation rather than encourage it. When the focus shifts solely to the reward, the intrinsic motivation, the joy of creating something novel, may diminish. People begin to think less about the quality of their ideas and more about the quantity they can produce to secure that bonus. Conversely, consider the impact of aligning incentives with personal values. In a nonprofit organization dedicated to environmental conservation, employees who are motivated by a passion for sustainability may feel invigorated by their work, particularly when their contributions lead to tangible positive outcomes. Here, the intrinsic desire to make a difference is enhanced by financial recognition without overshadowing their core motivation. Yet the dynamics of incentives can also lead to troubling outcomes. Misaligned incentives, particularly in corporate settings, can result in unethical behavior. Imagine a sales team pressured to meet aggressive targets, so they begin bending the rules, misrepresenting products, or even neglecting customer needs. The pursuit of profit at any cost can create a culture where ethical considerations are sacrificed. This raises an essential question. What happens when financial gain becomes the sole measure of success? Are we inadvertently fostering an environment where greed triumphs over integrity? As we explore these psychological mechanisms, let's ponder, what motivates us more deeply, money or our intrinsic values? The answer may not be straightforward, but understanding this balance is crucial as we navigate the complex landscape of human behavior influenced by financial incentives. The implications of these insights extend far beyond individual choices. They ripple through our societies and economies, shaping the very fabric of our interactions and institutions. What if contracts could enforce themselves without a middleman? Imagine a bustling marketplace where vendors and customers exchange goods and services seamlessly without the need for lengthy negotiations or the worry of dishonesty. In this envisioned world, smart contracts emerge as the architects of trust and efficiency. A smart contract is a self-executing agreement with the terms of the contract directly written into code. Picture this. You want to purchase a handcrafted piece of art from a local artist. Instead of exchanging cash and worrying about whether the artist will deliver, you enter into a smart contract. The moment you transfer the agreed amount of cryptocurrency, the digital artwork is automatically sent to your online wallet. No delays, no disputes, just a smooth transaction governed by transparent code. The mechanics of smart contracts lie in the underlying technology of blockchain. This decentralized ledger records every transaction in a way that is immutable and transparent. Each entry is a block, and each block is linked to the previous one, creating a secure chain. This innovative setup not only enhances trust, but also reduces the risk of fraud, as all participants can access the same information. Imagine how this could democratize access to resources, allowing anyone with internet access to participate in economic activities that were previously gated by intermediaries like banks or legal advisors. Now, let's consider a compelling case study. A community in a developing country uses smart contracts to facilitate agricultural loans. Farmers can secure funding for their crops without the usual hurdles of credit checks and lengthy approvals. The smart contract automatically releases funds when certain conditions are met, such as seasonal rainfall data. This ensures that the right resources reach the farmers at the right time, minimizing the risk of crop failure and maximizing yield. The strange consequence is that not only do these farmers benefit, but the entire community flourishes as local markets thrive, reducing poverty and enhancing food security. However, while the advantages of smart contracts are profound, we must also ponder the implications of their widespread adoption. What happens if the technology meant to empower still leaves some behind? The transition to a smart contract economy could inadvertently widen the gap between those with access to technology and those without. Imagine a situation where communities lacking internet infrastructure or technical skills find themselves excluded from this new economic landscape. Who benefits most from these advancements, and who gets lost in the shuffle? As we explore the potential of smart contracts to create a more equitable economic system, we find ourselves at a crossroads. The promise of transparency and fairness is tantalizing, yet it compels us to confront the ethical implications of our technological advancements. What if we could design a future where everyone, regardless of their background, could partake in the benefits of these innovations? The inquiry into smart contracts not only invites us to envision a better financial world, but also challenges us to ensure that this vision is inclusive and just. What if the very technology designed to empower us also has the potential to leave some behind? Imagine a world where smart contracts, self-executing agreements, coded to ensure transparency and fairness, are heralded as the solution to economic inequities. Yet as we dive into this brave new world, we must confront a stark reality. Not everyone has equal access to the tools and infrastructure necessary to utilize this innovation. Picture a rural community where high-speed internet is merely a dream and smartphones are a luxury. In such places, the promise of smart contracts remains just that, a promise unfulfilled. The irony is palpable. While some bask in the benefits of a digital economy, others are left stranded, unable to partake in the very systems designed to enhance equity. This brings us to a fundamental question. How can we ensure that technological advancements do not widen the existing chasms of inequality? Beyond the allure of seamless transactions and automated agreements lies a critical challenge: technological barriers that can hinder widespread adoption. Consider small business owners in under-resourced neighborhoods. They may lack the digital literacy or financial means to implement smart contracts effectively. The strange consequence is that these tools, while revolutionary, could further entrench existing disparities, creating a two-tiered system where only those with resources thrive. Furthermore, we must grapple with the issue of trust in technology. For many, the idea of a contract written in code may seem abstract and even intimidating. Without a clear understanding, skepticism can flourish, deterring potential users from engaging with this promising technology. What happens when the very mechanisms meant to foster trust inadvertently breed suspicion? The challenge then is not just in creating smart contracts, but also in ensuring that the knowledge and resources to use them are made accessible to all. As we explore the potential of smart contracts to reshape our economic landscape, we must remain vigilant about who benefits and who stands to lose in this transition. The solutions we seek must be inclusive, bridging the divide rather than deepening it. In this light, the quest for a more equitable economic system requires us to address these limitations head-on, ensuring that technology serves as a tool for empowerment rather than a barrier to progress. Imagine a world where every dollar spent is a vote cast for the future you want to see. What if we could ensure that these votes were not just for individual gain, but for the collective good? As we consider how to allocate resources wisely, it's essential to reflect on the ethical implications of our choices. The question looms large: how can we prioritize resources to benefit everyone? In exploring ethical funding models, we stumble upon innovative social enterprises that challenge the status quo. Take, for instance, a community-funded solar project in an underserved neighborhood. Here, residents band together, pooling their resources to invest in renewable energy, reducing their utility costs, while simultaneously contributing to a sustainable future. This is not merely a financial transaction, it's a reimagining of shared wealth and a commitment to equity. What if more funding models mirrored this approach? Imagine a world where investors are motivated by more than just profit margins. Instead, they focus on long-term societal benefits, creating a ripple effect that fosters community resilience. Yet, we must ask ourselves, what are the trade-offs? In prioritizing equity, could we inadvertently stifle innovation? The strange consequence is that while ethical funding can drive social change, it can also lead to questions about efficiency and scalability. Consider another example, a nonprofit organization that provides microloans specifically to women entrepreneurs in developing countries. This model not only empowers individuals, but also uplifts entire communities, fostering economic independence and reducing poverty. However, the challenge remains: how do we ensure that these funds reach the most marginalized without falling prey to bureaucratic inefficiencies? Let's not forget the potential backlash against these models. Critics argue that relying on charitable funding can perpetuate a cycle of dependency rather than fostering sustainable growth. What if we could design funding frameworks that promote accountability and transparency? By leveraging technology, we might create systems that track how resources are utilized, ensuring that funds are directed toward projects that genuinely benefit the community. Imagine a platform where every transaction is recorded on a blockchain, providing an immutable ledger that stakeholders can trust. This could be a game changer, transforming how we perceive and implement resource allocation. Yet, as we delve deeper into these discussions, we must remain vigilant. The pursuit of equity should not come at the expense of efficiency or innovation. Instead, we should strive for a balance that honors the dignity of all participants in the economic ecosystem. So, as we envision this future, let's keep asking ourselves what changes if we take these ethical considerations seriously. Who truly benefits and who might be left behind in this new paradigm? The answers lie not just in the allocation of resources, but in the values that guide our decisions.